Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm the Neha from the present. In this video, I'm reading 5 lowest rated books from my Goodreads TBR. To be very honest, I started this video in August 2025 and this has been a very long video in the making. Out of all 5 books, I read 2 books in August and September. I read rest of the 3 books in this year. With the very last one I read in May month. I'm sitting on 31st May and you'll be getting this video by next week, by first week of June of 2026. Hope you enjoyed this. So let me take you back to August 2025 when I very first started this. So this will be another reading vlog. I'm shooting this intro on 8th of August. This is the kind of video which either will take me a few weeks or can take me up to a few months. So as from the title you guessed it, I'm reading 5 lowest books from my TBR, my Goodreads TBR specifically. I've already chosen all the books I'm going to read, but I thought I should also take you through the process. I'm opening my laptop screen recorder. I'm taking you to my laptop screen. You can see I've already chosen a want to read shelf, and most of the options I can see are horror. First one is Scream Queen, the 3.01 rating. Second is The Woods Are Always Watching. Third is The House of Lost Resort. Fourth is Close Your Eyes and Count to 10. And fifth is Womb. So I have already decided I'm not going to read Womb. It's an extreme horror and I'm really not in the mood to read those ones. So I'm going to choose Death in Her Hands. And all these 5 books I have only heard of. The Woods Are Always Watching and Death in Her Hands. And that also I don't know that much about it. So I think it's going to be a surprise. So these are the 5 options I have chosen. I knew that I need to arrange these books, so I already decided in what mode I'm going to read this. So I bought The Woods Are Always Watching, and I have found Death in Her Hands on my Audible, which I'm going to listen to. I have account on Event, found 3 books, the rest of 3 books, that is I found Close Your Eyes and Count to 10, The House of Last Resort and Scream Queen on my Event account. So I'm going to read them as ebooks on this. So let's see how it goes. I'm going to slowly make my way through all these books. I'm quite skeptical because these are the lowest rated books and all are, as I can see from my Goodreads, all are below 3.23. So let's see how it goes. I'll keep you updated. So first book update, I started Death in Her Hands by Otesha Moshe. I'm listening to the audiobook of Death in Her Hands and so far I'm really liking it. I have just finished first chapter. So we are following this 72-year-old lady called Vesta who during one of her morning walks comes across this note. We are in her head. She's thinking about all her life choices, how she is now living in this remote cabin in Levant. So she's thinking about her life so far, her relationship with her husband, and she's also making this story in her head about who Magda can be and who is her killer, who wrote the note. So she's making these people up in her head, contemplating life. We are completely seeing the world through her lenses. She's slowly peeling down her layers, her life to us. So far, I'm really liking it. This is my first book by the author. She's a good writer. There's something really comforting about her writing style. As I'm listening to the audiobook and going on these walks, and Vesta telling me about her walk, her life. There's something compelling about that. And this is giving me, I'm thinking of ending things by Eon Read vibes. I really like the ending of that book. I wonder how this is going to end. So let's see. I have just started second chapter. So I'll keep you updated. So far I'm really liking it. I don't think this deserves this much low rating, but there must be some reason. So let's see. I'll find out. So I finally finished Death in Her Hand by Otisha Moshe. I listened to this on audiobook during my evening walk. It was around 8.5 hours of audiobook and it was not very long. I went through it very slowly, so it took me some time. I think I finished this in a week. I finished this yesterday and I took the time to actually process how I'm feeling about it, and I'm still not sure. So this was my first book by Otesha Moshe. I liked the writing style. I liked the concept. But what I didn't like was the ending of that book. It has 7 chapters and till sixth chapter it was around 4 stars, but that ending really brought down the book's rating for me. I'm thinking of in between 3.5. Mostly I'm thinking to rate it around 3. As I told you about Vesta, this is about a 72 years old lady, Vesta, who came across this note during one of her morning walk, and she lives in this isolated cabin in Levant, moved there after her husband's death. Vesta is not a likable character. You are in her head throughout. If you are a plot-driven reader, this is not for you. This is a completely character analysis kind of book. We are in her head throughout the book, and she is completely making the story in her head about who Magda is, what exactly has happened with her. She is in her 70s. She's going through her life so far, all the regrets she had, loneliness, aging. So this deals with everything. This is quite depressing book as we are into the head of Magda and she's downright spiraling and slowly losing her mind. We see her as this unreliable narrator and really can't tell what exactly is actually happening and what exactly is in her head. The way it ended really brought down the book. I did not like the ending. There's such thing as you are leaving things up to reader and how they are going to interpret this book. And one thing is a satisfying open ending. I did not like that also. This is a very divisive book. I can see why, and I can understand the low rating, especially if this is the first time you are reading from this author. I did not know anything about the author. This is my first time, but I really like the writing. So I'm going to read her other book and let's see if all her books are like that or this is something different. I am really excited to read Eileen by her, but not in this vlog. I'll read it some other time. Really like the concept, really like the writing style. The ending was a letdown for me. Apart from this, all the things this is dealing with was interesting, and I like to get into Vesta's head and how she's slowly revealing things to us. You are very disturbing and you are also getting really worried about her, what exactly is happening. There are a few content warnings, so keep those in mind. Let's see what next book I am going to read. So, reading update. I'm currently listening to the audiobook of Close Your Eyes and Count to 10. This is kind of mystery thriller book where we are following these people who are taking part of this extreme hide and seek game in this abandoned hotel in an isolated island. We are not getting straight away into this. We are following contestants as well as the staff related to this show. We are following this single mother Adele who is taking part in this show due to some financial issues in her life, and we are also following POVs of her children. I don't know why they are not part of this game, but we are getting their POVs. We are getting into this quite slow. I normally prefer a fast-paced mystery thriller book, but we are not getting that with this book. We are creating a base backstories of these people, getting to know all these characters. So far, I'm liking the concept. I'm liking the setup, but this is quite slow for my taste. We are following people who I'm not sure how they are going to be a part in this further. So let's see. I'm at 25%. I'll update you later as I get into this. So I finally finished Close Your Eyes and Count to 10 by Lisa Unger. It was a disappointing read for me. I really did not like this one. As from the synopsis, you get that this is about a survival extreme hide and seek game in an isolated island. If you are expecting a fast-paced survival thriller, you are not going to get this. We get to the part of game quite later in the book, and that also was so uneventful and so disappointing that all the anticipation towards this big game kind of disappointed me a lot. 60 to 70% of this book is all about these characters, their backgrounds. We have introduced so many subplots in this book. All those subplots are so shallow and does not go deeper. Author had so many things she wanted to add in this, but was not able to develop any of them. It all came around as a very big mess. As a mystery thriller, it was not very interesting. There was one murder and that was so lackluster, and the game part was so uneventful for me. I'm going to give this 2 stars.
I have started The Woods Are Always Watching. I am 50% into the book. This book is divided into 2 parts. I have finished first part. The ratings I can see on Goodreads for this is around 3.07, so it is shockingly low. I don't get it why people really hate it. All my friends on Goodreads have given this 1 or 2 stars, and at 50% mark I can't see why, but maybe the ending is not good. I don't know. But I think why I'm loving this is because the premise is completely up to my alley. We are following these 2 two childhood friends, these two teenagers who went on this 3-day hiking trip together before they are going on a separate path for their college. So far, not much has happened, but this sounds like survival horror kind of book. I love survival or anything if the story is based out in woods or something related to trekking, hiking, or camping. I always love those kind of books. I think setup really works well here for me. Even if both teenagers are quite annoying and I don't have any emotional ties to them, I'm still enjoying the atmospheric writing style the author has, and all the descriptions about the woods and how they are trekking and just camping in general. So I'm liking that. The part where I left, so something really big happened. I think things are going to be quite more interesting. The first part that I finished, that was kind of a mix of both their POVs, both the girls. The second part, I think we have separate chapters for each POV. So far, I really liked first 50% of the book. I don't know why people really hate it. I have not read anyone's review. I just saw the ratings. I didn't want to spoil myself, but next time I'll update you once I finish this book.
So I finally finished The Woods Are Always Watching by Stephanie Perkins, and I completely understood why this book has so low rating on Goodreads, because the second part of the book was definitely worse. So the first part of the book was enjoyable for me. It was slow, but with this kind of setup, I was enjoying myself, even if the characters were annoying. But right after where we ended on the first part, there was something big happened. Action started from that point. We got introduced to bad guys in the second half. It should have become more creepier and more interesting for me, right? But that was not the case, because there were so many unrealistic things happened in this book that I couldn't suspend my disbelief. So there were a few things that happened with one of the girl, with Josie specifically, that physically were not possible for her to operate after that, but that was not the case. I think there were so many physically those things were not possible, but those things happened. It kind of took me out of the book, and also the villains of the book were so one dimensional. Their whole arc and the whole storyline felt very rushed and very one dimensional. It was the weakest point of the book. We got so much of action in very small portion by the end of the book, which was not paced properly, and I think was not developed properly. It felt like author was in a hurry to finish this book, and it's not a very huge book, so it could have done with few more pages. I think second half was definitely a letdown. I found the overall plot creepy and in some places really interesting. So I'm giving this 3 stars. I don't know how memorable this will be for me, but I enjoyed some part of it. So I'll definitely consider this a success, because I didn't mind most of the book except for the final part and that weak plot with the villain. So I'll consider this a kind of success, I guess. I still have 2 more books to read, so let's see which one I'm picking now. I haven't decided which one I'm going to pick, but I'll read as per my mood, because these books really are getting me into slump. I need to be picking them as per my mood, because otherwise I'll not be able to finish these.
So I've started Scream Queen. I am listening to this on audiobook. I have finished first part of the book, the pre-production part, which accounts to 40% of the book. I am just getting into the production section. Okay, so let me tell you about the book first. This is about this reality show that these two B-grade Hollywood producer brothers are creating, and this is a multi-POV book. We are following multiple point of views. One is from one of the producers brother, and one is from the contestant side, and we are also following a lot of crew members from this production. They are shooting this in this house which seems to be haunted, and we are slowly getting incidents around the house. So far this is not capturing my interest. This reads a lot like a movie, but I would be more interested in watching this movie instead of reading it. The way author has portrayed these characters, I'm not feeling them. I am not really getting invested in them. I'm not liking them. There's a disconnect with them, so which is really making it a drag to read through. Also, this feels a little dated. This was published in 2003, and the way some things are so dated and so stereotypical, so I don't know, there's nothing new in this. Also, in terms of scare, there are few accidents that happened in this house while they are preparing for the production, but the way it is written is not very scary enough. And the audiobook which I'm listening to, there are a few voices of the characters that the narrator is imitating, which is really not gelling with me. Let's see, I am starting the production part of it. I think that will start with when all the contestants are meeting in this house, and let's see if it is any better. I'll keep you updated.
I finally finished Scream Queen, which was 4th book in this video, and this was the lowest rated book in my Goodreads TBR. And after release, I completely understood why this was such a low rated book. It got around 3.01 stars, which is quite low. So we are following production crew as well as cast of this reality TV show where these contestants have to spend one night at this haunted house. Winner will get the money as well as role to one of the movies by this brother duo who are famous for their B-grade horror movies. Book is divided into two parts, pre-production and production. In pre-production part, we are, as the name suggests, we are basically following this crew and are one of the contestant Jodie. It was around 40-45% of the book and it was not bad. Writing was fine, but the first part was very boring. And in the second part, we actually get to see telecast of this show. This book was published in 2003, and let me tell you, this was quite dated. You can tell that this book was written by this male author. It was misogynist and very racist. I didn't like any of the characters. I didn't connect with any of the characters. Mainly, we got the story through different crew members as well as one of the Govan brother, who is one of the producer, and this contestant Jodie. Their thoughts were so boring, and I really did not like Jodie at all. She was supposed to be someone who we root for. We are mainly following her in this book, but I didn't like her at all. She was so judgmental, and I think author kind of was projecting himself in her thoughts, which I didn't like at all. This reads like a B-grade horror movie script. Maybe I would have liked it better in a movie format because this book was quite slow in some places and was very boring in some places. The plus point of this book is there are some good horror scenes here, which I really would have loved to see on screen. It had all the old horror movie vibes, so that I really liked. But in the book format, I think it lost some of it, I think, campiness, you can say. So reading this in 2026 was not a very good experience. I would have loved to see more of horror things, more kills in the book. So yeah, overall, I would give this two around 2.5. So now only one book is left, House of the Last Resort, and I have this in ebook format. I'll give you updates on that as soon as possible. So after so many weeks, I have finally started The House of Last Resort, and I have completed first part of the book, which accounts to 52%. This is the second least rated book in this whole list. So far, I'm liking it. Quite going slow, but I'm liking it. We are following this couple, Tommy and Kate, who moved to this ghost town in Sicily. Tommy's grandparents lives there, and they really want to move to the all the hustle bustle of US. They want to start their life in slow environment. They move to this old house in this ghost town, and everyone around them are quite apprehensive of the house they have chosen. When Tommy's grandmother meets them and she gets to know that they at the very last moment changed the house, she gets quite angry but doesn't explain. I didn't completely understood the way she behaved and didn't tell them about the history of this house. They got to know about this from their new friends there. I'm liking this couple. The author really tells you how happy they are with each other, so that when bad things comes, we'll feel that. So, and this also feels very formulaic, like your typical haunted house kind of horror book. Things are happening around them at night. They are not that afraid that people should be. I'm also not understanding why people are not telling this couple things about it. It's quite generic, your haunted horror kind of book, but yeah, I still don't get why it's so low rated. Let's see. I'm starting second part and I'll update you once I finish this. Hey, yeah, I'm the Neha from the very first shot, and I'm currently on 31st May, and I have finally finished The House of Last Resort. Finally, all five books done. Now, for The House of Last Resort, it is, as I told you earlier, it's an haunted house horror book, and I didn't have that much high expectation because obviously this is the second least rated book in this whole series. Yeah, it was pretty typical of your haunted house book, as we are seeing this couple, Tony and Kate, moving to this house in this ghost town, and they are happy, full of dreams. This book does have an interesting concept in terms of the ghost of the town, which has a very good backstory, but I don't think it was explored that much. It was explored on a very surface level, so yeah, it didn't affect me that much. And in spite of having so interesting concept, we spent so much time on things that were very boring, that didn't matter that much. There were so many things I had hard time believing. First of all, Tommy and Kate, they just moved to this town, and within a month of them moving, they are pushing for reviving the tourism of this town. And this all happening when they are experiencing very strange things in their house. So that really didn't make any sense within a month of them moving, and that nobody does that. I was also very frustrated that people around them knew the history of the house, especially Tommy's grandmother, but she didn't say anything. She was angry when they moved, but there was no conversation they had. They got to know about the history from their friends. So that was another thing that didn't make sense. I think the things were very interesting, but the way it was executed was very boring. Ending was well written. This was not the best ending of all time, but it was fine. I liked few parts in this. There were some chilling moments in there, but overall, I thought this is the book which is going to be the exception in this case. But it was pretty average. I'll give this 3 stars. Overall, it was fine. Not my favorite, but it was not that horrible. I think there are worse books I have read in this video. So finally, after 9 months, I completed this video. I had fun because let's be honest, even if the ratings are very low, most of the books in this series were horror and I love horror. So even if I did not enjoy it that much, I still had fun. Now it's time for ranking. My favorite book out of all these is definitely going to be The Woods Are Always Watching. I think I gave this 3 stars, but I had fun reading this book, especially due to the setup. I love wood setting and I loved most of the things. I just was not happy with few things. So that's why it was 3. I could have gone to 4 if few things were not there. This is my favorite out of all 5. Second place is definitely going to be Death in Her Hands. I think I read this in August, so it has been quite so long. I still remember how much I enjoyed this. I read this on audio. The writing is very good. I'm not sure if Otisha Moshe is the author for me. I have also read Aline by her. I love her writing, but I'm not very happy with the concept. Both books are character study. Yeah, I think this one is still my favorite by her so far. This is also 3 stars. This book's ending really disappointed me more than Woods Are Always Watching, so that's why it's in second place. The third one is The House of Last Resort. Again, 3 stars. Haunted house books are always hit and miss for me. My favorite so far is definitely the book by Riley Sager. I forgot the name. That's my favorite haunted house book so far. For this one specifically, there were few things which I liked. The concept was good. The writing was also good, but it was quite boring. I didn't enjoy it as I was thinking when I started this book. So, yeah, another 3 stars. Next in the list is Close Your Eyes and Count to 10. It's a 2 star book. This has the most interesting premise out of all these 5, and especially a survival game on an island, totally up to my alley. But the way it was played out and so many subplots in this book, yeah, it was a pretty disappointment too. So yeah, 2 stars and in the fourth place. Now, very final one is Scream Queen. See, this is the least rated book, all these, and completely agree why it was least rated, because I can understand few things. Lack of execution, fine. Lack of plot, fine. This one has so many glaringly obviously wrong things which I couldn't look past to. The thing is, all 5 of these books has absolutely brilliant premise, something I would love to read even without this challenge. But the way it is written, it is very dated, and there is no way I would have given this more than 2 stars. So yeah, it's a 2 stars and my least favorite book out of all these. The things which really bothered me in this one can't get past through them. So yeah, least rated. So that's it for this video, and I hope you like this one. It took me so much time, and but I still think I enjoyed the process. And hopefully you like this one, and if you like this one, please like, share and subscribe. Yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.